Good morning. In today's class, we will discuss very important topic from population geography or human geography. This human geography or population geography is very important for UPSC, APPSC Group 1 mains, TSPSC Group 1 mains. In UPSC, in paper 2 of your syllabus that was explicitly mentioned, in social issues also it is useful. Coming to APPSC Group 1 mains examination, in your unit 3 of the syllabus, separately and explicitly, the topic of races has been mentioned. Even in TSPSC Group 1 mains syllabus also, the subtopic of races have been mentioned. That's why this topic is important for descriptive perspective. And for prelims examination point of view, for either UPSC or APPSC, TSPSC, no direct question from races could be asked, but the races, their chronology of invasion and settlement in India could be asked. No topic is unimportant for prelims point of view. You have to remember that. Every individual topic forms important for your prelims perspective. That's why I request not only the candidates appearing for the descriptive level or mains level examination, but also the students who are going to appear for preliminary or fundamental level examination. We'll start this topic. So, what are races in India? What are races in India? One second. No need to mention myself. We are going to discuss races or racial groups in India. Before going to understand what are different races, different population races or different human races that exists in India, first you have to understand what exactly mean by a race. Race and tribe are two important terms that we very often come across in human geography. We discuss race in the sense of geography, but not in the sense of anthropology. What is difference between anthropological perspective of discussing race and geographical perspective of discussing a race? If you are discussing a race in terms of anthropology, you will go deeper into the technicalities of genetical makeup, genetical framework, physical characters more extensively, differences between its pre-evolved species and post-evolved species. But in case of geography, where we discuss race in terms of their location, in terms of chronology, when they came and when they settled in India, what kind of customs, what kind of traditions, what kind of basic physical external features they are having, and more importantly where they are presently settled, and what are the significant or physical traits that have been carried by the present day population from the ancient or earlier species. This is geographical perspective, and we are discussing the race in terms of geographical perspective. Then what is a race? Though we all belongs to the Homo sapiens, though we all evolved from a common ancestor, our physical features appears little different from one person to another person. Though we are all having common set of chromosomes, common genetical makeup, the expression of genes differs from one person to another person, especially with respect to the physical characteristics. So, race is nothing but grouping people who are having a common, similar, or more or less identical physical characteristics. That is what we term as race. Here we discuss race for the better understanding of population, their characteristics, their distribution, their culture and customs, but not to discriminate any group of people based on their physical characteristics. What are the important elements that we consider for grouping people into different racial segregations? One very important element is skin color. Based on skin color, we say these are black people, these are white people. Based on this kind of discrimination, which instead of used for understanding the population differential characteristics, these elements have been earlier days have been using for the discrimination of one kind of people by the other kind of people, that in later days lead to many agitations, protestations, and the nationality concept have also been grown. That is different aspect. So important element that is considered for grouping a person into different racial section is skin color. Nasal index, the length of nose, well development of nose, nasal cavity, nasal index, all this also will be taken into consideration. Then the other important is hair color. We also think in terms of hair color: chocolate brown colored hair, silky hair, woolly hair, curled hair. These kind of characteristics also will be considered. Then forehead index, the width and length, the spaciousness or the bulbousness of the forehead also will be considered. And lips, size of lips, protrusion of lips, length of lips, color of lips, all will also be considered. So race is nothing but group of people or grouping of people based on certain commonly shared characteristics, more especially the physical characteristics such as skin color, nasal index, hair color, forehead index, lips, etc. Then, what are different races that have been seen in India? India is in fact the museum of races. That is, India is having different races, almost all the races of the globe. But their number, their numerical strength, their purity of genetical makeup have been in recent days in the sense from the 1 or 2 millennium onwards have been changed drastically due to intermingling and inter reproduction. That's why predominantly 6 major races have been identified by different geographers and anthropologists in India. They are the Negritos, the Proto-Australoids, the Mongoloids, the Mediterraneans, the Brachycephals, and the Nordics. We will discuss individually these races. The first important race in India is the Negritos. In these subsections of different races in India, we will understand where they came from, what are their physical characteristics, where they earlier settled, and present day where we could see the characteristics of these races, in which tribes or in which communities we could see the characteristics of these particular races. Because of the inter reproduction capacity, because of the intergenetical mingling, the pure characteristics of a particular race have been drastically changed, and no pure exact identical specimen of earlier races can be seen in the present day population. But however, certain residuary, certain important significant characteristics can be seen even during present days in certain tribes who have been very isolatedly settled either in hilly areas or in forest regions. First, we will see the Negritos. And these people, the Negritos, are said to be the earliest and the most ancient racial group that came and settled in India. They are thought to be migrated from the African continent, and they are the earliest occupants. They are the earliest occupants. I'm highlighting here the important keywords so that you could directly utilize these keywords in your examination, or otherwise I could use this spotlight. And they are the people who came from the Africa, and they are the earliest occupants who came and settled in India. Coming to their physical characteristics, they are generally short statured people, not more than 5 feet, not more than 5 feet. And coming to their skin color, they are black or chocolate brown complexion people. Their hair is woolly and curly. If you see, you could see here the forehead, bulbous forehead. You could see here the forehead. These are the typical images of people, the Negritoids people. Bulbous forehead, that is round, rotund shaped forehead could be seen. And jaws is also protruding. Jaw length is very much. Protruding jaws we could very prominently see in terms of this Negritoid population. You could see the protruding jaws, and lips also broad, well exposed lips could be seen, broad lips, and broad flat nose. Nose is, this kid is in fact uh, have well developed nose, but originally the Negritoids have generally flat shaped noses. These are the general characteristics of this Negritoid population. Coming to this Indian settlement, present day, where we could see this Negritoid population. The earlier settlers, the Negritoids, their original characteristics have been present day vanished. That means not exactly vanished, their original characteristics have been evolved, and many differences and many mutations in genetical composition has been taken place, and even now some residuary or some important features of these negritos can be seen in certain tribes of India. Where are these tribes and who are these tribes? In Nilgiris of Kerala and Tamil Nadu, you could see this Uralis, a certain tribe, where you could see the Negritoid characteristics. Kadors of Kochi in Kerala. In Palani Hills of Tamil Nadu, you could see Polayans tribes who also having these characteristics of Negritos. Budgis of Jharkhand, Angami Nagas of northeastern India, and many of the Jaravas, Sentinelese, Champaigns, Nicobaris, all these isolated tribes of Andaman Islands, you could also see the Negritoids characteristics. This is the Negritoid race in India. So you first will say where they came from and what is their significance. They are the earliest occupants. You explain their basic physical characteristics, and you will explain where the present day they are present. Present day where they are situated in India. This is the first race of India. Coming to the second important race in India who came and settled post Negritoids migration to India, the Proto-Australoids. You could see the typical image of a Proto-Australoid person. This is the typical image of Proto-Australoid person. These people, these people of Proto-Australoid migrated to India after the migration of Negritos. They came from Eastern Mediterranean region, that is the present day Palestine. Their physical characteristics is as same as that of the Negritos, with an exception of woolly hair. That means except that of having woolly hair as that of Negritos, the other characteristics of these protoasteroids are more similar and identical with that of the Negritoid population, the early settlers in India. Coming to their present day settlement, earlier they came and settled either in northwestern region of India, but subsequently they have been migrated, they have been pushed, they have been persecuted by the later day migrants, and have been settled in the deeper interiors of peninsular India, or deeper interiors of eastern and northeastern India. That's why the bulk of South Indian forest dwellers, you could see the characteristics of a typical proto-asteroid people. More commonly, the South Indian tribes of Vedas, Malavedas, Irulas, Sholagas, Bhils, Kols, Mundas, and Chinchus of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, you could see the proto-astroloid genetical physical composition. The third important race in India, third important race in India are the Mongoloids. The Mongoloids are racially the population that have been originated and evolved in China and the Mongolian region. Unlike the earlier proto-asteroids and Negritos, the Mongoloid people have been migrated from the eastern and northern regions of India through the passes of eastern and northeastern Himalayan and Purvanchal regions. That's why, as these people have been migrated from the eastern and northeastern region, their settlement is also more or less uniform, more or less restricted, limited to the regions of northern India, especially in Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and in northeastern regions of Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, the present day Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, etc. And they have been migrated, they have been originally originated as a species, as a Homo sapien species having differential physical traits from China. Their common physical characteristics are round, broad headed. You could see a typical image of a woman belongs to Mongoloid race. High cheekbones, more protrusion of cheekbones could be seen here. High cheekbones, high cheekbones here. You could imagine a beautiful woman or uh, beautiful man of this China and northeastern region of even in India. Long flat nose. Nose is not protruded, but it's flat and it is not very well developed. A very important feature of these Mongoloids is little or almost absent of body hair, except on head and except little on eyebrows. The hair over the body is almost absent, and lips is also thin, well shaped. Eyes are also dark colored, small, narrow eyes. They are not so stout. They are also stunted and short. And these Mongoloids have been in India divided into Paleo-Mongoloids and Tibeto-Mongoloids. Paleo-Mongoloids are simply nothing but they are the earliest and the first Mongoloids who came and settled in India, and present day they could seen in Assam and Myanmar border of India. And Tibeto-Mongoloids, the Tibetan region, that is northern gentler slopes of Himalayas such as Ladakh, Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, etc. Coming to their physical characteristics, residue in Indian tribal population in Garo, Kasi, Jaintia of northeastern, Lipchas, Chakmas, Murmi, Naga, Dafla of northeastern region, Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh of northeastern region, and Ladakhi population in Ladakh of the Union Territory of Ladakh also. Then, the fourth important racial group in India is the Mediterranean. You could see the typical image of a Mediterranean women here, Mediterranean racial group women here. The women's characteristics is more similar to the people we met every day. Being the South Indian population, these are the common characteristics and the people we very often come across in our neighborhood appears like this women. That means we are more or less the Mediterraneans. And these are fourth important people, fourth important migrants who came to India, and they are historically very important as they are the population who formed the first well urbanized civilization in India, the Indus Valley civilization. The people of Indus Valley civilization are the earlier bearers of Hinduism, in the sense they are the first people who worshipped the Linga. that is the phallus worship or Pashupati worship, which in later day transformed into the dominant sub uh, clan of Hinduism, the Shaivites or Shaivism. That's why we say the Mediterraneans who came from the Eastern Mediterranean region formed the Indus Valley civilization. And it is said that because of the migration and persecution and pushing effect of the Aryans who came later day, pushed these people of Mediterraneans who were settled in northwestern India earlier to the southern regions of India. That's why we, the Mediterraneans, originally racially are today called as Dravidians, and you could even compare the physical characteristics with utmost accuracy. They came from Eastern Mediterranean region, second and third millennium BC. During that time period, they came and set in India. They are the earliest bearers of Hinduism. Coming to their physical characteristics, their characteristics are same as that of the Mediterraneans with medium stature, dark skin, long head, black, well developed hair, etc. The bulk of South Indian population and culturally the Dravidans is said to be the Mediterraneans. But the theories of Dravidan race or Aryan race, whether the Dravidans have been really persecuted by the later day Aryans, is disputed according to some scholars, according to some historians. There is no solid base for this kind of claiming. But anyhow, the bulk of South Indian population is having this kind of physical, facial, skin characteristics. And even in northern India also certain population, of course, with little similarities with that of Mediterraneans could be seen. The fifth important racial group that came and settled in India are the brachycephals. You could see the prominent person, the uh, business tycoon, business magnate, Ratan Tata. The idea here is to say that these people are having the larger head. Brachycephals, the term itself indicates that the head of the brachycephal racial group people is larger in its proportion. Long-headed people. The present-day Kurgis in Karnataka and Parsis in different regions, especially in Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, belongs to this brachycephalic population. This brachycephalic population are regarding their origin, regarding their migration, it is highly disputed, and it is said that these people have been migrated from maybe Iran and Israel region. This brachycephalic population, characteristic population in India have been further divided into alpinoids who came from the Balochistan region, Dinarics who came and settled from the northwestern India and settled in the deeper Ganga valleys, that is eastern Uttar Pradesh, northern Bihar, western Uttar Pradesh, northern Uttarakhand, etc. And the third subgroup of these brachycephals are Armenoids, who came and settled through Gilgit and Baltistan, that is northernmost region of Jammu and Kashmir, which is present in the present Pak-occupied Kashmir. Gilgit Baltistan is considering by the Pakistan as one of its fifth province, but however, it is in India, and we have to say that is Pak-occupied Kashmir, as originally neither the constitutionally nor the statutorily we gave, we transferred our territories of Jammu and Kashmir in Gilgit and Baltistan region to the Pakistan. The last important race that came and settled in India that changed the historical fabric of Indian society, the historical theories, the evolutionary process, the major physical characteristics of India have been drastically and sufficiently changed by the last migrant population. They are the Nordics or the Aryans. Regarding their origin and their migration, many theories have been put forward. Even Balagangadhar Tilak also said the archaic home of Vedas. In the sense, He opined that the Aryans have been migrated from the Arctic region. But however, coming to the well-proven evidences by Max Muller, these people have been migrated from southern steppe regions of Russia. They came in majorly two different streams to India. Otherwise, in many streams, they have migrated from the steppes region. One stream went into European. Within that, substreams have been settled in different regions: Iran, Israel, Palestine, European, other European countries, Northern African countries, the Mediterranean region. Later, they formed. And some historians, some evolutionary theorists also says that the earlier Roman Empire have also been formed by these Nordics and Aryans. Based on the similarities between the language spoken by these Aryans in India and the migrant Aryans, the other stream of migrant Aryans to the European countries is having a linguistic similarity based on the Max Muller's conclusion. That's why it is said that these people, the Indian settlers of Aryans during 1500 BC, have a strong correlation of genetical and racial similarities were promoted and proposed by many scholars. They are the last stream of migration. They came from the steppes of Russia during second millennium. More precisely, some historians, even in NCRTs, it is said that 1800, 1700 BC circa. They are the long-headed people. You could see here the typical images of women, the Aryan women, original Aryan women. However, their makeup has been changed because of interracial marriages, intercaste marriages, and all. Remember, I am not glorifying the caste, neither the caste nor race. For your proper understanding, I have been taking these images and I have been putting together the various facts for the better understanding in geographical perspective. Coming to their physical characteristics, long-headed people, fair complexion, fair skin color, well-built body. Sorry for this spelling mistake. It is well-built body. Well-developed nose could also be seen. Bulk of North Indians, present day large share of North Indian population belongs to these Aryan racial groups. They speak Aryan group of languages. I will do one another video on the languages of India. There I will discuss what exactly mean by Aryan group of languages and what different languages comes under the Aryan group of languages and other the what are the Dravidian languages and what are the North Dravidian languages, South Dravidian languages, and three language formula and what is mean by classical language. I will discuss all these topics in separate video that I'm going to upload very soon for you. So these are the racial groups. These are the racial groups in India. 6 racial groups in India. Thus, these are the 6 different races of India who came at different point of time in India and settled at different places and where they are present, where in which tribal population we could see the present day the earlier characteristics of racial people in India. These type of question can be asked directly in your group 1 or civil services mains examination that discuss the racial composition of India. As the race term is very explicitly mentioned in your syllabus, the question could be of very much important. Discuss the racial composition of India, or otherwise this kind of statement based question could also be asked. Indian races are as complex as that of its climate. Discuss. This kind of twisting statement based questions could also be asked. And for prelims point of view, the chronology of the migration of the racial groups in India can be asked. Okay, the prelims perspective, that question can be asked. So hope this class will be useful for you. Subscribe to my channel. Type Kakarla's geography classes in your YouTube. You will find my photo, or otherwise name of this channel UPSC, APPSC, TSPSC free geography classes. You could also find this word there, but however, try typing this Kakarla's geography classes. Subscribe to the channel for the more videos, more exam perspective, exam point of view lectures. for the better understanding of geography. You could even comment your doubts there. I could take up those doubts. And if you are interested in any topics, whether you belongs to any institution, any state in India, you could ask that question, ask that particular complexity of geographical topic which you feel it difficult. I will take up the topic individually for the benefit of my students as a senior geography faculty. Well, thank you. Meet you soon with another important lecture. Thank you.